Today I'm reviewing Down and Out in the Magic Kingdom by Cory Doctorow, which is a free adult science fiction ebook which was published in 2003 and is about mortality, dystopia, and Disney World. Down and Out in the Magic Kingdom takes place in what seems to be the nearish future in a society called Bitchin, which has conquered death. When you die, you get restored from a backup copy, which is essentially a clone that you have to pour your memories into every so often. Another big concept of this book is deadheading. Deadheading is basically just turning off and being able to be unconscious for any amount of time. You can do it for 2 hours when you're taking an airplane ride, or you could deadhead for centuries. Also in the Bitchin' Society, instead of using money as we know it, they acquire something called woofie, which is acquired by generally being a good person. Woofie is determined by how liked and respected you are. So if you're going to be a dick, you're going to be poor and looked down upon because everyone can see your woofie because they're all plugged into the internet. Our main character Julius is living out one of his childhood fantasies by living and working in Disney World. He lives with his girlfriend Lil, whose parents used to own the park, but are now deadheading for a couple of centuries. They work mostly in Liberty Square, and Julius takes care of the Haunted Mansion for most of the novel. 3 main events spur the major conflicts of this book. First, Jules' best friend Dan comes to town and is completely depleted of woofie. He claims he wants to kill himself, which in Bitchin' Society is obviously pretty hard, but he wants to go down swinging with some respect. The park is a great place to earn woofie, so Jules and Lil let him stay and work with them. Next, a group of people who used to work with Lil's parents return to the park with brand new ideas. They want to pour information and entertainment into guests' minds instantly, which is an intense experience. Third event is Jules' death. Someone shoots him randomly out of nowhere, and he's restored from his recent backup. The rest of the novel is Jules trying to figure out who killed him and if it has anything to do with the new group of people who are trying to update all the rides. It's basically a war, and he's desperately trying to save the mansion. And he also has to deal with all of his relationships with Dan and Lil and the other cast members. Having this novel take place in a futuristic Disney World is a great concept, and it's what originally brought me into this book. I think it's one of my favorite settings of all time, besides Hogwarts. All the park references are really cool, except sometimes he expects us to have a map of the park in our heads, and for casual Disney fans, it gets a little confusing. I love the concept of woofie. I think it's my favorite part of Doctorow's world building, and I do think it's our ideal currency. Spotlighting Dan's doubts about living forever is an obvious but cool way to discuss mortality and all the problems we'd face if we do eventually conquer death. However, I don't think the rest of the book was pulled off very well. It's just really hard to understand and is all over the place. I don't understand the aging system, which wouldn't be a problem except he keeps mentioning ages. Do you just pick an age to restart from? How old is that person really? Jules keeps mentioning people younger than him, but does he mean their apparent age or their real age? I don't know. Mentions in the first chapter that the death rate is 0, but the birth rate isn't 0. So where did they put all the people? The description of space is terrible. I tried so hard to get an image of my mind of all the space flashbacks, but it just wasn't happening. There's musical instruments attached to the wall? Is everyone naked? You know how some books have way too much description and it's just like, okay, come on, yeah, the tree has bark on it. I understand that. This could have used more of that. One of my major pet peeves is novels without strong female characters. All of the characters in this book, other than Lil, are supposed to be evil and bitchy and backstabby. One is even written as a character who doesn't know what she's doing and is weak and influenced easily. Lil works with tools and is really smart with technology, but she doesn't communicate well. She doesn't know how to handle her personal relationships. Speaking of Lil and her inability to communicate, a love triangle pops out of nowhere and is just another thing Julius can fret about. This doesn't seem to affect the other characters and is just a tool to make Jules more pathetic. In conclusion, This book just screams, or more like mumbles incoherently, meh. I would give this book 2.5 stars or a generous 3 stars. Basically, great setting, good concept, but was executed sloppily. I would recommend this book to Disney fanatics or fans of sci-fi, cyberpunk, or speculative fiction. Anyway, that is my review for Down and Out in the Magic Kingdom by Cory Doctorow. And if you've read this book, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. I really would like to discuss it with someone. And I will see you guys on Monday. Because if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know that I'm not doing Vita this year. I am doing vlog every weekday in April. So I'm doing Fuda. So I will see you guys Monday. Bye! Also in the Bitchin' Society. Can't say bitch on.